Visionaries, welcome back to Planet Venus, and if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Guys, I have some really great content for you today. If your eyes are bugging out at how long this video is, take it in bits and pieces, save some for later, add it to your watch later list right now, because I'm going to take you through the 5 reasons why your shirt may not be selling, and I'm giving essentially a walkthrough to some of these, and we're going to look at examples on Amazon, and I want you guys to tune in. So sit back, relax, and absorb this knowledge so that you can apply it to your own portfolio and get selling. Our visionaries who are just starting out on your Merch by Amazon journey or POD journey in general. If you are on merch and you're tier 10, tier 25, tier 100, tier 500 and still need some inspiration and understanding why your portfolio is not selling and you're not moving up in tiers as quickly as you would like, please do stay tuned to all of these, because some of these, maybe not everyone, but some of these will definitely resonate with you, and hopefully the insight and the feedback that I'm giving based on my journey will be helpful to you today. For my veteran merchants who are tier 1000 or higher, there's some nuggets in here asking for your long-term strategy. Have you developed a brand? Do you have an Amazon store? What is your long-term focus, and is your portfolio meeting your needs currently? What things can you do to tweak your strategy to increase your royalties per sale? These are the type of things that I'm going to dive into this video, so I hope you enjoy. So number 1 is a big one. It's a simple one, but a big one, no pun intended. Are you designing where your thumbnail, the image in the thumbnail would be too tiny for your customers to even understand what is on your shirt? I see this so much all the time, and I'm going to show you some examples of that in the next couple of minutes. It's crazy how this one little tweak can make all the difference in someone seeing your design and buying it versus passing it over. Again, we have to remember that our potential customers are not only looking at Amazon on their laptop, computer, tablet, but also their cell phone. So you definitely have to make sure that you make the most of the real estate that we have in our print area. So let me show you what I mean. I went ahead and took a quick look at Amazon and did a search for funny sayings, and I came up on this particular saying, duct tape I can't fix stupid, but it can muffle the sound. And so I went into some of the top selling shirts and kind of want you to see when you get to that last line there, obviously they are doing it for balance and want the top line to be the largest and then the next and then the next. But in a thumbnail, you can't really see what that's saying. So if you were just generally searching through funny quote t-shirts and came across this particular shirt, you would kind of think like, what is this thing saying? So I think this shirt, even though it has a cool design that matches the particular font, that it's doing a disservice here to this bottom line because you can't really see it, whereas others brought up the size a little bit bigger or made it into 2 lines to allow it to be a little bit bigger so that you could read it. This shirt was able to, draw out specific words that would draw attention to it, and you can see it much better. I think this one might be getting a bad rating for another reason. It's only priced. It's not a merch shirt, of course. This one is, and so these shirts are leaving it open for others to come in, and even though it's 34 shirts in the niche, it's leaving room for others to come in and design something different, sorta. I mean, everybody's using the exact same wording except for this one. Even duct tape can't fix stupid, so they shorten the saying a little bit, but I mean, there's so much that can be done there. There's no graphical elements, it's just words. So if you're going to differentiate yourself, you need to do something similar to this one. This one, is it a newer one? Yes, brand new. So I'm assuming if they can get decent placement on this page and it's only a couple weeks old, that it's not super saturated and that the 434 shirts that are in this niche are indeed only $4.34 for it to be able to get up to the top with this wording, and it's a V-neck tee. So they're playing around somewhat with the fact that we have more shirt type choices now and things of that nature. So generally, I would, if I was this individual that was placing first here, which this is not a merch shirt, so it is as it is, but if it was a merch shirt, I would just design this a little bit bigger so you can see the bottom line. I know it's supposed to be fine print and add to the novelty of the shirt, but you really want to do shirts, especially if they're text based, that would fill up the whole area, the print area of the shirt here. So it's just a no-brainer. And then if you have smaller graphics, you want those to be as big as possible. I know it's something to be said for simplicity and elegance, but there are t-shirts here, and we're essentially either selling a style, a vibe, saying something funny that resonates with the individual or something unique about them. And so they want to say it out to the world. They want people to be able to see it when they wear it. And I used to think like filling up the whole art box, the print area, is something that would be obnoxious to wear. But I have a lot of shirts now that they make a statement that way and they don't look obnoxious when you have them on. I think from a design aesthetic, though, we're very hesitant to do that. But I think if you have the room, you need to fill it up as much as possible. And this is just to show you guys that there are some not so attractive shirts out here, but the shirts are selling. So they'll play on the word duct tape. They made a duck that's taped to something. So this kind of stuff is corny, that sort of thing, but funny to some, and so they're selling. So you just got to think about usual sayings. I was telling you guys, funny sayings, silly sayings, funny wording is profitable for me. So if you can't find a shirt, look through some specific words that come to mind, phrases that come to mind for you, and find some shirts that may be interesting without just duplicating what someone else did. You could do that if you just need some sales or something and you think getting into that niche is going to get you a sale. It might get you one sale, but that's not the process that I use, especially if you want to try to get some decent royalties. You already see that this shirt, even though it is not utilizing the space as much as it should. Again, it's not a merch shirt. They're pricing the thing so low that anybody that's getting in to the niche is essentially going to have to price, that's a merch shirt, is going to have to price at $13.07. So that's why I recommend not just duplicating what's out there, because essentially there's going to be a manufacturer, a FBA seller that is going to underprice you, because they're able to do that because they control their inventory and they have their own set of shirts and they have a lower minimum in royalties or revenue that they need to realize versus what we have to. So I wouldn't get into that game. But anyway, as I was looking, let me back up a couple here at funny quote shirts. I came across a lot of these, but the thing that I wanted to show you too, this shirt, somebody replicated the same thing. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be able to stand because it looks exactly the same almost as the shirt that we were just talking about that had that smaller line, but I think they did use a little bit different font. But as you can see, it's selling very well to have a BSR of 191K, meaning it's selling all the time, multiple times a day. And look how much they're charging for this shirt. Look how much they're charging, $25.99. That's why I preach to you guys, stop undervaluing your shirts. Even some super simple text-based, a silly saying like this. Look at it, how much they're charging. And it has reviews. And people are buying it on a regular basis. This might have been one of the first ones up in that $4.34 niche. Guys, you gotta prospect out here. It's ample opportunity to make money on this shirt. Now, they're probably for the long term, the long haul. Let's go in and spy on this shirt just a little bit and see what the sales history has been on this. So if you guys don't have this, it's I think I talked about it in one of my previous videos, but it's helium 10. It's totally free. And you could look at the sales history of this shirt, and as you can see, for the last month at least, the shirt has been priced at $25.99, and it's making sales on a regular basis. So there's times where it doesn't sell as often and then back down in the seller's rank. So, but it will look at here. The last couple of weeks is like selling on a regular basis multiple times a day sort of thing, guys. And they put this up in April of 2018, and people are coming into the niche and they still are able to garner $25.99 for this simple text-based shirt. So that's why I'm telling you guys, don't undersell. But the main point is here that for your shirts, if you're coming into a saturated niche, if you want to stand out, you have to stand out. But one simple thing to stand out is to make sure that your shirt fills up the entire design area. So I would have put duct tape and then can't fix stupid all the way to the D and E. And then the line below, I would break that up into but it can. It as one line and then muffle the sound. So it would be like a big square here. A big square full of that text so that people can see it. Yes, they're trying to do the little subtle fine print line thing here, but I don't think it's necessary for this shirt if you want to stand out. And as people are wearing it, people that's walking by them or their family or friends are looking at the shirt like, what does that say? They'll be able to see it better. So it's all about design aesthetic, one. But if the consumer can't see your shirt as they're scrolling through 434 options or more in most cases, do you think that they're going to stop and buy your shirt? Especially if yours don't have reviews and stuff like that. So I'm telling you, where appropriate, where it makes sense for your designs, a majority of my designs, no matter if it's appealing to women, men, if it's a dainty design, if it's a rugged design, if it's a kid's design, it really doesn't matter. I fill up the whole print area with my design. So that's number one. Now for number two, one of the main reasons is also you did not niche down far enough to get to that sub niche that is going to get your shirt seen. The quick fix to that is not to get rid of the design necessarily, just use specific keywords, a more specific angle that you're coming at for your design to get eyeballs on your design. So I want to show you an example of that, kind of building on our first example of why that is and how you can rectify that. If you're not showing up on the first page, then you're not targeting your keywords well to be able to compete in an already saturated niche. So generally you will want to niche down to a sub niche as far as you can and work from there. So let's take a look. So using the same or similar example, guys, just as you saw, like this niche in particular has 30,000 shirts, so you really have to narrow down and take a look at the angle that you want to come from to provide something unique and not just repeat what's here, and just zone in on where you think you can provide value with your particular design. So let's take a look at some angles that some other individuals went from to differentiate themselves within this niche. They did funny quotes or funny sayings for coaches or general sayings, but it is specific to either mechanics or somebody that uses duct tape on a regular basis, or in general, but you have to keyword this stuff and focus on it like you are honing in on a mall full of shoppers. Who in that mall is going to buy your particular shirt? What is it appealing to? So that's what I mean by looking at overall niches for inspiration, but then delving down into this. Now, adultish has been done a million times over in the chubby unicorns for the rhinoceros and stuff like that. Don't be a pizza poop. I have no idea what that is, but take the general overall niches, but then when you see something like fisherman funny quotes or yoga funny quotes or something that you're interested in, then go deeper into that. Coffee has been overdone, but you could find a way to come at a different angle. So you're starting with the large niche, but then you sub niche down. Gaming, I have some gaming shirts that I put up at the end of last year, and they sell once or twice a month. I wouldn't say that they're doing great, but just use these things for design inspiration, but don't stop at the top level. Let's take a look at a popular niche like cat shirts. That's another thing I'm talking about, the font being too small or not using the whole design board, because I can't tell you I would. Something going on with zombies and cats there. You can't hardly read it. So if they were scrolling past on a cell phone or on the internet or whatever, they probably wouldn't stop and see that. That's probably why this person has all their cat tees under a sponsored brand. That's one thing that you could do, is do an ad for a grouping of your shirts if you want to venture there. But generally you want to niche down and not go so general. So this is cat dads, street cats. So you would do urban street cat thing or something. You're trying to not just mix a couple of things like shark and cat, but you want to figure out who your buyer is and be specific to that. Cat dad has been overdone, but you can appeal to a cat dad if you talk about, my cat, dog, and riding my hog, like a motorcycle pet owner or something like that. You really have to get deep down and think who the person on the other end of this you're trying to appeal to, because that's the only way to get you through the over 3,000. So we're not going deep enough into something that's more manageable and less saturated than that 30,000 that we were seeing. And people are doing a spoof on The Godfather a million times over, so I would stay away from that. But let's see if we can find an angle deeper on cat dad. If they're doing a specific type of cat, tabby cat dad versus Siamese cat dad or something like that. Stepdad a cat, see, that's a different angle, and it's sold before cat dad AF, so they're adding, pop culture slang to it to make it more appealing. But I would think an individual has to be searching exactly for cat dad AF to find the shirt. But you can get into that. So let's take a look at cat dad AF and see what's there. That's a much better result. Reduced to 323. But then that's where the creativity comes in again. But people are using the artboard. So the little sleek cat dad AF is selling regularly, but so is the big old cat dad AF that's more rugged, big, bold. So again, use up that artboard, and you have to keep niching down if you want your shirt to be seen, especially on the first page. If your shirts are not coming up on the first page, forget it. Start again, keyword it again. Figure out some sub niche that you could keyword to that's still related to the meaning of the shirt. It has to come up on that first page, or you could forget it. All my best sellers are ones that sell regularly, multiples a month, are on the first page. They have to be. People are not gonna, especially when they're scrolling down on their phone, once they get about here on something, they're just gonna make a choice of these. Here's a secret, guys. You can thank me later, because we have more shirt types now. You better take advantage while you can. Take a look at the tank tops in this niche. Only 30. Not even 30. There's the one. Cat Dad AF tank top, 2, 3, so maybe 15. Not even that many. It's 2 or 3 cat dad tank tops. Get out there and look at some of the top shirts and see if there's a tank, if there's a raglan, if there's a V-neck for women out there. And if it's not, do that in your own design, though. Don't take this one, right, or something close to that and make a tank top of it. So there's a freebie right there. They're not selling right now, but as we come across these particular ones, because I have tank tops that's selling every day, but these particular ones haven't sold yet, so it's a great time to get your tank top out there, get it in the niche, whatever that niche is, sub niche down, get it in that sub niche, and watch it go ka-ching in the next couple of weeks, because people are turning to the tank tops away from the long sleeves, away from the sweatshirts, somewhat away from the t-shirts. Obviously, the t-shirts are going to be the biggest seller because they're the most versatile year-round. But as people get more into tank tops, you better get them up now. So for my tier 10s, tier 25, tier 100 folks, even tier 500 folks, start switching out some of those sweatshirts, long sleeves that haven't sold for you for the tank tops. Is new, is kicking into the algorithm. There's not as many tank tops in general because we're just starting to put them out there. Some of the most saturated sub niches don't have tank top versions of some of the shirts that sell on a regular basis because those sellers are either focused on something else, developing out their portfolio in a different way, or only adding a new tank tops, raglans, V-necks to their new designs versus their existing ones. Whatever it is, you better take this opportunity to get your new shirt types, your designs on those and out, and ones that hadn't sold before. Maybe the tank top will be the key here, but bottom line is you need to niche down. So from cat t-shirt, we went to cat dad down to cat dad AF. And here we go with only 3 out of these results being cat dad tank tops. So opportunity everywhere. You could do that with any niche, guys. So that's number 2. Before I start talking about number 3, you guys take a stretch. You've made it through the first 2, and I hope this is valuable to you. Do me a favor and take a second to comment below and let me know how you liked the video thus far. Has anything resonated with you from what I covered so far? Do these examples help? Do these longer videos help to give you some perspective and me sharing my personal stories? I found that on the shorter videos that you guys had a lot of questions and things kind of weren't as in-depth as you wanted them to be. So I'm going to be doing some of these longer videos on occasion, so let me know what you think about them. Number 3 is common sense as well, but sometimes I find myself not doing that and then wondering why I'm having slow sales on some shirts. But as we all know, ranking ain't easy. It isn't easy, guys, so you have to utilize what you have and know. Obviously, the first step to this is finding the appropriate niche so that you can get seen, and also utilizing long-tailed keywords. So if you're in a specific niche, the example of a long-tail keyword was cat dad AF. Instead of just saying cat shirt, funny cat shirt, you get in there and think of the mind like your customer would type things in. Now we don't even have to put shirt, t-shirt, any of that in the title, because with the multi-uploader create beta now, we don't even have to put the shirt type, the product type behind it. So don't even think about putting shirt, t-shirt, all that in there. You just want to make sure that you're utilizing the appropriate keywords. You can look at some of your competitors' designs. That's essentially what Merch Informer does as an aggregate to show you keywords of what competitors in that niche utilize as their keywords. So you basically want to use long tail keywords as much as you can. In the duct tape example, you don't want to put just funny quotes or sayings. You want to get specific to what the shirt describes and then the individual that will want the shirt. So funny mechanic shirt or something like that, you want to utilize 2 to 3 or 4 words as long as it makes sense for someone to drop that into the search engine. And that is essentially the niche itself you're defining. Who would search for it, and then what key terms they would use in succession to find your shirt. It's okay if that's somewhat out of order, but you want to utilize the long tail keywords as much as you can in the brand, title, bullets, and description. I was mentioning on one of my other videos that for a majority of my shirts, 80% of my shirts, whether they're selling or not, I only have a brand and title for those. I don't have bullets or description, so you can see that I'm fine-tuning the niche that I'm in to come up on the first page in general. So I'm kind of pioneering my own niches to a certain extent. But then if you're in existing ones that have somewhat of competition, then you're going to have to get fancy with how you utilize your keywords and do long-tailed keywords where you can, and not just use specific words here and there like cat shirt, then you put cat shirt, feline shirt, all these different variations, cat lover, this, that, and the other thing. What about your shirt is unique that the cat lover is going to also want to search for? Again, in one of my examples that I used earlier, in the cat niche, what if there's a cat lover that also loves motorcycles? So I'm with my cat dog and riding my hog, that sort of thing. So you would be crossing 2 different niches, the motorcycle rider or whatever. So one of your long tail keywords could be motorcycle riding cat lover shirt. Now, chances are there won't be too many individuals looking for that specific shirt. But for the cat dad AF shirt, someone who loves their cat, so you would say, cat dad, funny cat dad for the man that loves his pet or whatever. So you put in pet, cat, all kinds of terms in there, but you want to get those 2 to 3 to 4 or more keyword strings in there that is going to have your shirt come up amongst the top of the search results versus someone that has a similar shirt to you and is just willy-nilly throwing cat and then dad and then feline and then, whatever else, describe pet in separate areas within the bullets and description. It's not as powerful as if you hit exactly on what an individual would put in 4 keywords to find your shirt, or a grouping of shirts within that larger niche but specific to your shirt in the niche. So you will obviously in the title have the full title, Cat Dad AF, but then you want to try to get a little bit sophisticated where you have the real estate. But for the most part, I don't need to go that far. I do put in descriptions for my shirts that do sell on a regular basis so that they can get picked up by search engines outside of Amazon like Google and others. But to get found on Amazon, I'm wading through the traffic just fine. And some of the niches that I'm in have 10,000 plus shirts. But I was just smart at seeing whatever angle some individuals were coming at for their shirts to add one additional word to my title or grouping of keywords that would hit exactly on what my buyer would be looking for versus the other buyers in the niche. So again, sometimes I have shirts that are related to slang terms and things and mean various different things, and I'm looking at the angle that my buyer would be coming at versus somebody else that would be wearing something with a similar phrase, but it means something totally different. So I have great success with funny sayings, idioms, things that mean certain things, double entendres, things of that nature. So if you're going to get into a saturated niche, you need to find an angle. If you're being stubborn and won't niche down, you just have to find that unique angle that's going to set your shirt apart, and that individual is going to be searching for the terms in your listing that's within your listing versus another listing. So that's number 3. You got to get ranked. There's other ways that you could get ranked. Obviously, if you are in a saturated niche and your shirt sales, so you might, if you're in the lower tiers, might want to buy or have family or some people you know, friends, buy your shirt, and as they start to sell and get ranked and that BSR starts cycling through, then chances are your shirt is going to get placed closer up on the first page or on the first page in general. So that's one strategy. But organically, you definitely really want to make sure that you're maximizing your keywords, but then smartly and strategically placing your keywords where they make sense to compete against the other shirts in the niche. So do look at how your competitors are keywording and don't copy their bullets and descriptions. Just kind of look at how they're fitting things in. And with Amazon cracking down on keyword stuffing, we definitely want to be smart about how we're niching down and utilizing keywords on things, but then not cramming keywords in where they don't make sense. The next one, guys, is did you give your design enough time to be seen, to get into the algorithm, to rank for those keywords that we talked about, the long tail keywords in the niches, to have a presence there? Also, do you have more than one hook in the ocean? You need to give yourself at least 2 to 3 weeks for the one design to start to get impressions and sell, but then you also need to have more than one hook. For my folks at the lower tiers, I know it's difficult. You don't really want to put your eggs in one basket, but if you have a greatly searched out niche, you shouldn't be afraid of that. Again, you have to have the right niche, the right sub niche, the right positioning in your titles, bullets, and keywords to make a difference here. But I wouldn't be hesitant to have 2 or 3 of my 10 or 25 or 100 designs in the same niche. When I first started out at tier 10, 3 or 4 of my shirts was in the same niche because it was one that I knew a lot about, and I knew that I would want shirts in this niche to wear in general because of my love of that particular hobby. So just again, start with the fundamentals, start with great research, build your design on that. I know the designers among us are design first, research later. They follow where the art takes them, not the other way around, not the customer demand, but in POD and appealing to your audience when you don't have an established brand as of yet. It really pays to do the research ahead of time. So once you know you've done that due diligence, then it should be pretty simple for you to then take a look at what those designs should be within that niche that's going to get eyeballs on it, that's in a niche, sub niche that's less than 500 shirts, and give it 2 to 3 weeks to start ranking. The fastest I've sold a shirt was the same day, and that was because I believe that there were already shirts that I had there in general, and this was just a different shirt type for that same design. So I knew that people were already looking for that particular shirt. It had already ranked, it was selling regularly, and this was just a variation in terms of shirt type for that particular shirt. The second fastest sales time that I had on any given shirt was the next day, and it was a brand new design. And again, I prospect out niches where I know I'm going to get eyeballs right off the bat, that there is demand, that there are 5 or more shirts in that sub niche that have a BSR lower than 500K or higher, excuse me. So I know that the demand is there, and I come in with a design, obviously, that, as I keep mentioning to you guys, that's improving upon, but coming from a different angle than those. I'm not just looking at shirts, taking the phrase or design that somebody else's has put up already, and then doing my own variation, my own version of the same exact thing, the same setup, the same layout, the same graphics, similar graphics and stuff like that. I'm doing something that's totally different. It's like a play on words. Like, I may attribute that to how I think about life. I think of it in different angles from different perspectives. So that's my gift that I bring with my designs. What's your gift? What's your unique focus that you're bringing into the marketplace with your shirt versus the other ones that's there? So if you are a designer by trade, you already have that creative bug in your DNA. So just come up at it from that perspective, or whatever is unique to you. But when you're sure you've done those things and the shirt isn't selling, just give it some time, because it will sell eventually. Do look at your competition in there, but set your own lane. Do something different where the headlights would be on your design. The individual that's looking for shirts similar to yours will be attracted to your design, and then have multiple designs in the one niche. So there's multiple hooks, not just the one. You're one amongst 100. You'll have 2 up in the 100, or 3 in the 100, or whatever. So a lot of other merchers or individuals giving advices, spread the net a little bit wider. And to do trends when you first start out, trends are difficult because everybody is jumping on them, unless they're just, focused totally on evergreen. But I do delve into some trends, holidays, but I know which ones that I'm going to focus more time on than others, because of the ones that have been profitable for me so far. So those are the ones that I'm going to focus on. Mother's Day is decent. Graduation time, as I was telling you guys, does better than Mother's Day in my portfolio. Halloween, definitely, as we come up to that in a few months, the lead time up to that, I encourage you to design for that when it's appropriate. The Q4 holidays, other holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas holiday, I do some shirts related to that, but not many. I probably would say last Q4 I had 30, 40 sales across those 2 holidays. Cyber Monday was a bust. Black Friday was a bust for me. I'm not sure if the people that have had super success with those holidays are selling pop sockets or what, or if it's tees. I didn't see that same influx of sales that others did. So that is just to say that your journey is going to be different than others on any given day. So again, you have to give your designs a little bit of time to get in the ranking, because if you say, oh, well, I've had it up for 7 days and it's not selling, and you take it down, it might have just been getting appropriately ranked by the time you yanked it down, and then try to put it up later. It's like you're starting the process all over because you're assigned a new ASIN number. Your shirt is basically back in the queue to get ranked and everything. So I would just have some patience with it. Now, if it's over 2 to 3 weeks, then again, look back at the prior aspects that I talked about in steps 1, 2, and 3, reasons 1, 2, and 3, and see if there's something that you could do to improve upon any of the things in 1, 2, and 3 here, but then let it marinate for a little bit. And also, something that people don't do because they're so focused on selling their 10, selling their 25, selling their 100 to get to the next tier, that they don't design for the next tier. Keep designing, upload, have a cache of designs at the ready when you do get to that next tier. Focus on what did sell, your 1 or 2 sales that you have now while you're waiting to get to the 10. What sold and why, and make more of that. If those were not your strongest, tweak it and make designs that incorporate the tweaks, the fine tuning. Again, this is your time to experiment. This is your time to play around with the process, to learn the process, but then also to adjust your mindset, your thought process, your strategy to what is going to give you long-term growth on the platform. That takes me into number 5, pricing. We all have heard the schools of thoughts for pricing. Price low until you make a sale and then you can keep bumping it up. I don't do this. A lot of individuals that I've seen do this, they're underpricing their shirts and they're setting a bar for where that shirt is going to continue to be. So as we saw with the duct tape example earlier, there were a lot, well, 300 or something shirts in that niche. But if you looked at the pricing, which I didn't stop there and take a quick, draw your attention to the pricing, but they were in the basement. A lot of them were $13.99, $15.99, stuff like that, and you're gonna get a couple bucks per sale in there. But that's why I'm saying you don't want to prospect for niches like that and just do the same design as everyone else, because you have to play rock bottom basement wars. And there were some t-shirts in there that were even less than the merch by Amazon t-shirt threshold, because they manufacture and sell their own shirts, so they were at $9.95 and stuff like that. Why would anybody, if that is a shirt that they're looking for and the $9.95 shirt is decent, buy a $13.07 shirt, a $13.99 shirt? So don't even go into that niche. That's why I'm saying start with the niche. Look at the earning potential for that niche. Look at the best sellers in that niche. And if they are not at a price point that's going to be lucrative for you to even design a shirt and put it up there, why do it? You know what I mean? So that is what will differentiate your brand for the long term too, because as you establish a brand, as you put more shirts up, as you focus on the niche, your design perspective, you will start to attract others that like the one shirt. They'll probably come back to find other shirts. You do have a brand that they can click on and see other offerings. So you just really have to price appropriately. And what if they do click into your offerings on one of the shirts that you have is like $13.07 here, but then you have a $19.95 shirt there. And if they're looking across your grouping of shirts under your brand, they're going to be like, what is the standard here? You got El Cheapo on this shirt in terms of pricing, but then the other shirts you're trying to charge a premium price for is just incongruent, inconsistent. It would confuse me as a consumer. Like, why did I get this one for such a bargain price, but the other design I like is not bargain price, so let me go search it again, and then they'll go and find a shirt that is comparable and pay the lower price. So it's all up to what your mindset is. If you're trying to tier up fast and you don't care about royalties in the beginning because you want to get to the higher tiers, then that's fine. But you made the shirt now is essentially worth nothing but a sale so that you can tier up to you. And chances are that you're never going to be able to increase the price on it in the future because, one, people are going to catch on to the fact that your shirt is selling very well and copycat it, create a variation of it, and then price low just like you so they can sell it, so that shirt will never be worth anything. Because right as you start ranking, and if you shirt sell with regularity, tools like Merch Informer are going to queue in other merch sellers like me and various others as to what your shirt is. Even though I won't copy it verbatim, I'll try to do something within that niche and or focus on the fact that if there's some viability in terms of pricing, because I told you guys, I don't go any lower than $5 with my royalties, so I probably won't be playing around in the mud with the rest of the folks that would try to copy your shirt. But there are others out there, so if you're going to put your shirt out there and underprice it and risk the fact that you will never be able to raise the price, what is that going to mean for your portfolio in the long term? You're going to be tiered up and have more slots to have lower priced items in, but then you're not going to see the return on your investment, the hours that you have put in for your designs to and the uploading, or if you hire a VA in the long term or whatever it is, if you're not going to recoup the money that you put in terms of blood, sweat, and tears, your time and effort, what's the point of being tier 6,000? You make 500 sales a month, but that's only amounts to $1,000, whereas I make 200 sales a month and get to that same $1,000. So you just have to think about what the trade-off is and price your shirts appropriately for that niche. Again, as you're entering the niche, as you're doing research, that's one of the things that you need to focus on as to what is the profit margin per shirt on the most popular shirts. If the most popular shirts are only making $1, $2, $3 per shirt, do you really want to enter that niche or have that same type of design on your shirt? Do something totally different that brings even more uniqueness, more swag, more style to the individual that's going to buy it, and then you could charge a higher price. That's what my highest priced shirts do. They're unique in that they are totally outside of the box of the other shirts that's saying the same thing on the shirt. My shirt says the same thing as 1,000 other shirts in this niche, but the angle that I'm coming at, I'm trying to describe it without giving it away, but it's a totally different meaning to how my shirt is set up and how it looks versus the other ones. And so because I'm the only one that's coming from that angle, I'm getting sales hand over fist, and for my tank tops, I'm getting $8 and something cents. And the standards, because I'm pricing it at $25.99. And for the standard t-shirt, I'm getting about $9 and something cents because I'm pricing it at $24.99. So $8 or $9 per sale versus the $5 and something cents that I used to get versus the $2 and something cents. So it's just all about your mindset and building your brand, playing the game, knowing which of your niches is going to get you top dollar. People talk about all the time, how great the royalties are with print fulfillment on Etsy, like using Printful or Printify. Why can't you get that on Amazon? Why not? It's the same shirt, same quality shirts, Gildan shirts over there versus the Port and Company shirts that we have over here on merch. It's the same thing. Why not get paid what your artwork is worth per shirt. So it's generally, again, about mindset, pricing appropriately for the niche, making sure your shirts are competitive, and then actually prospecting out niches where you would be the only kid on the block, not the new kid on the block. And then you can really set your price. You're setting the stage for it. But when you are the only kid on the block and you start seeing regular sales, you have to flood out that niche. So it'll be difficult to do at tier 10, tier 25 even. But if you have a winner in a niche that nobody has found yet, please spread the wealth out amongst variations of your shirt. Because again, once you start getting regular sales and people see it in tools like Merch Informer, here they come. And if you only have one shirt out there, you better believe if they have the slots, they're going to put up 10, 20, 30 shirts that's similar, underprice the shirt that you have already, and there you go. That's the end of your gold mine right there. It's not a fair game, but it's a long game. So that's why I'm saying don't underprice your shirts. Don't follow the crowd. Create your own trend. Because that's essentially what I did with this shirt that I keep telling you guys about. It's in an oversaturated niche. If you just search for the keywords that's in there, you're going to come up against 10,000 plus shirts. But how I'm pricing them, how I'm positioning my shirt is totally different. And just by tweaking some words and having the design appeal to a subgroup of people that don't have any other choice but to see mine and like mine and buy mine, is the craziest thing. That's why it's been copied all over the internet. I have to protect my IP on it because people are trying to copy. Like, I can't believe I was looking at the niche and was like, I can't believe there's nobody that is looking at this differently like I'm looking at it. And that's where your uniqueness comes in. Like I've said in other videos, you have a mind for this design know-how enough to know what looks good, what you would wear, whether you're in this particular hobby or not, and looking at the competition shirts and knowing the aesthetic of some of those that we saw earlier, and knowing that you can come from a unique angle or create something that is leaps and bounds greater, better, more attractive, more appealing, more unique, more clever than the stuff that's out there. Do it and do it well and do it with the strategy, and don't underprice yourself, because you're going to get burned out. I've seen people on merch as well, and they, tier 6,000, they made it where I'm trying to get. I'm tier 2,000, there's tier 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, whatever. And they're like thinking that merch is dead. Well, it is if your pricing strategy was to price as low as possible so you could get to those tiers and you didn't make any money from it. You spending money on AMS ads and doing all kinds of other things, and you breaking even or losing money. For how many months are you going to do that to yourself? Some of those people have been on for a year or two, longer than me. And then they quit because it's not lucrative based on their long-term strategy. Now, people can look at my portfolio, my progress, and say, why would you invest 14 months of your life to make $5,000 so far? Because it's a long-term strategy of me, one, earning money as I'm doing this, but two, developing case studies for what makes great e-commerce. What appeals, how you grow, how do you build a brand, how do you take the best advantage of POD. These are things that I can bring to my clients. This is a case study that I'm going through in general This is something that is going to be lucrative for me in the long term, and I'm not just being one of thousands of other sellers doing it the same way. You can carve out your own unique area, your own unique angle to do this thing. And so that's what I want to share with you guys, and I want you to share with me. How is your journey unique? Your stories, your thoughts, your reactions, your experiences that you share with me help me as well. If any nuggets in here, just one even, if that was helpful to you, do share this with the rest of the merch community, whether you interact with them on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever they are that you interact. Do share this with that community, our community, because it's helpful as we grow and new merchers enter the mix, how we can help them, because it's more than enough out there for everybody. I think it will be of great benefit to all of us, instead of it being a culture of individuals coming in trying to take advantage and rip designs, because we're also forgetting that in the merch community, we are one of thousands, but also the sellers on Amazon, all the FBA sellers, all the ones that fulfill it themselves, not through FBA. It's a vast planet, universe of sellers out there. So as much as we can help each other grow and have a presence on the platform, it, I think, will help everybody overall. So definitely do share this forward. Comment, let me know what you guys want me to cover as well. Let me know if you like the longer videos or you want short bursts of video. I just find with the shorter videos, I get so many more questions from you guys than on a longer, thorough video like this one, like the case study. You guys really gave me some great comments on that, so I definitely want to bring things of value and bring things that's unique. It's a lot of merch gurus on here sharing content, and I don't want to regurgitate that content. I want to give you the unique perspective that I have related to my journey and being on the lower tiers and just getting to tier 2000. So those of you starting out, the beginner merchers here, believe me, you always feel like a beginner. You always need more information or find other people's stories inspiring or helpful, or finding tools and resources and best practices and stuff. Is always something new. So definitely bring others into the fold. And I thank you again for subscribing. I have over 400 subscribers now and more than 31,000 views on my videos. So I thank you guys for visiting the planet and continuing to bring others in. If you are not subscribed and you found anything in this video to be of value, please do subscribe. I'm going to have regular episodes on Tuesday, Thursday, and I always premiere these. So you can chat with me live as they premiere as well. I love that. I have like 3 or 4 consistent individuals that join me in the premiere. Now, the video isn't live, obviously it's recorded, but I'm watching it with you guys. In case you have questions, I'm in the chat, so hit me up in the chat. So do continue to tune in and hit the notification bell so you can know exactly when I upload the new ones on Tuesday and Thursday. And then on special occasions, I will have ones on Saturday when there's new alert hot button topics on merch, POD, entrepreneurship as well. So definitely tune into those. And I thank you again for hanging out with me for this hour per week. It's great connecting with you guys, and do hit me up either here in the comments or on Instagram at Absolute Venus or Twitter at Absolute Venus, wherever. Love to connect with you guys. So until next time, be well and peace, family.